A lot of the people that walked out of my life were females. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about coming out. Now I know this is a touchy subject for a lot of us, but I have some experience that I want to share with you, and I think this video will help some of you guys out there that might be struggling with coming to terms with your true identity. So before we get into this, I want to give a shout out to my very much appreciated Patreon members. My members are growing and growing and growing, and I'm so appreciative and grateful for all of you guys over there. If you want to get to know me on a more intimate level, definitely check out my Patreon. I do weekly updates and I post other exclusive content over there, so check out my Patreon if you want to get to know me better. Alright guys, so I have some points written down that I want to touch on, and I don't want this video to be too formatted or like strict, because coming out is not something that you can really predict or know how it's going to go down. Certainly for me, when I came out, I did not think that it was going to go the way that it did. Sometimes it goes worse than you expect it to go, and sometimes it goes better than you expect it to go. So let's get right into this. I think the first stage in coming out is coming out to yourself. You have to get comfortable with yourself and be able to look in a mirror and look at yourself in the eyes and say, this is me, this is who I am, and this is what I like. I remember when I was a senior in high school, this was the time that I was getting ready to come out, and I was dealing with a lot mentally. And I was dealing with depression and just loss of motivation and just trying to isolate myself all the time because I was just dealing with so much. Once I was finally comfortable enough to look at myself in the mirror and come out to myself, that gave me the courage to tell at least somebody else. Once I came out to myself, I got this feeling that I was living my truth and I was ready to take off my suit that I had been wearing my entire life and just step into my real self. So the next step in coming out is to realize what you're getting out of coming out. Realize why you're doing it. What's affecting you right now that makes you want to come out? Because sometimes it might not be the right time to come out. And that's probably why some people come out at different points in their life. It's because there's certain things in our lives that influence us and that we don't want to ruin or cause any problems with. So that keeps a lot of people from coming out. Once you realize what you're going to get after coming out, such as closer relationships to your family, closer friendships, just feeling more confident with yourself and like you're living your truth. Once you realize that that's what you want out of coming out, it gives more fuel to your engine. And when I say that, I mean it gives you more motivation and incentive to come out and to stop lying to yourself and to others around you. So yes, guys, realize what you're getting out of coming out. Don't just do it because you want attention and there's nobody else in your school that's like you, or because you want to impress somebody, or any other reason other than you want to feel better and you want to live your truth. I think those are the main reasons that somebody should come out. The next important thing about coming out is to realize that your life is going to be different after you come out. Things are going to change. People are going to walk out of your life. Some might do it in a loud way and some might do it silently. Once you realize that you're coming out for yourself and only yourself, it won't really matter to you who walks out of your life or who has judgment or who has anything negative to say, because only you know how hard it was to come out. Don't waste your time trying to appease other people or, grab other people's attention, because this is such a fragile point in anybody's life that is dealing with liking the same gender. So be easy on yourself and also realize that your life will be different and you will have a different friend group afterwards. It's inevitable. But as life is, things change, things evolve, but it's for the better. Because if things stayed the same forever, how boring would that be? How boring would life be? So the next important thing to think about before coming out is to scope out your environment. And when I say this, I mean scope out who your friend groups are and how they might react, or how your family might react. And the reason I wanted to include this is because I don't believe that it's healthy to put yourself in a dangerous situation, whether it be at home, at school, if you're still in high school or middle school even, or even college and you're in a very conservative area. I don't believe that you should come out just for the sole fact of coming out. I think that you should have a reason behind it, mainly because there are still very close-minded people in this world, and I don't think that you should force yourself into being alienated or isolated from your community and your friends and your family even, just for the sole purpose of coming out. And so I think the best time to come out is around a celebration of something, a graduation, or right before you move somewhere. Something like that in life where coming out can sort of be overshadowed by something. And I hope that makes sense to you guys, but I just don't agree with putting yourself in situations that will cause you to get bullied or to get discriminated against in any way. I don't agree with that. So for example, if you worked at like an auto shop with some good old boys and you guys were buddies, and then you come to them one day, and then you go to your boss one day and you come out to him, and then he starts spreading that around, and then you start wondering why people are treating you different, and then you start feeling like crap every day after work, and you start looking yourself in the mirror and just not feeling confident and not feeling good. I don't agree with that. And that is such a realistic phenomenon that happens when some people come out. It happened to me in a very minimal way. The reason I came out when I did is because I knew I was going to be moving out of that small town, and I was going to be going to college and just kind of leaving my past behind. I don't think I ever would have came out if I didn't have plans to move out of my hometown after high school. It would have been really hard for me in such a small town because, guys, my hometown has 3,000 people in it. 3,000 people. Everything spreads like wildfire, and everybody uses the same gas station, the same grocery store. I just would never want to put myself in a situation where I'm getting stared at or, alienated by my own community. So I don't think that you should either. So definitely scope out your environment before coming out and make sure that you're not going to put yourself in an uncomfortable or unhealthy situation. Because when you come out, it's a very fragile time in your life, and you need to have as much capacity in your heart and in your mental health as possible, because you need it. The next tip that goes along with scoping out your environment is to not force yourself to be alienated from your social groups. And I already gave an example with the auto shop, but another reason I came out when I did is because I left school half days. And that means I didn't have to sit in the cafeteria with the whole school and eat lunch with them. I could leave before that. And one of the most anxious and fear-provoking thoughts was not having a group of friends to sit with at lunch. And during this time, I was so preoccupied with taking college classes and preparing for college and preparing to move out of Maryland that none of that really mattered to me, because I already had those goals and plans for my life set up. So anything that anybody had to say was kind of just in one ear and out the other. I really didn't want to force myself to be embarrassed or isolated, because a lot of people from my high school are very close-minded and for sure would have treated me that way. I had no other examples of gay guys in my school to look up to or to befriend. It was really hard, but look where I am now. So when you're finally ready to come out, I think that you should start by just telling one close friend or classmate. The first person I told when I came out was actually my mom, but I had so much trust in her, and I knew that she wasn't going to tell anybody, that I still felt like I didn't come out, and I felt like I wanted to tell somebody at school. So I actually went to school the next day, and I was ready to do this. And I told a classmate of mine who actually sat next to me in accounting class, and I told her in the most nonchalant way. As soon as I told her, she smiled and she gave me a hug. And I felt like, wow, this was not hard at all. And I wasn't worried if she was going to tell anybody. I was just ready to, keep telling people. But I wanted to take it slow. So She was the only one I told that day. And like I said, she was just very respectful about it. She asked me a lot of questions like, oh, when'd you know? Like, do you have a boyfriend? Stuff like that, just to really make me feel included and comfortable about it. So I appreciate that. After that, I would say go slow, listen to what your gut is telling you, and just start by telling people slowly. Start with close friends, start with family members like your sister or your brother or your dad even, which my dad was actually one of the last people I came out to. But yeah, start by telling people slowly. Allow them to just know that this is who you are now and you're living your truth. I know that once I came out, which was like halfway through senior year, I started playing around with my style. I started doing my hair and like dressing up for school and getting more involved in things. I actually started the first school store at my high school, which is crazy because my high school was built in like the 50s and there was never a school store. So that's one of my achievements in high school. But like I said, I just started being more comfortable with myself and, you know, waking up on time and getting to school on time and actually just caring about life, because I was proud of myself and I felt a sense of accomplishment that, for one, I was going to my dream college for my dream degree. For two, I had finally just climbed this mountain and I was almost to the top of like living my truth and being my honest self, and there's no other feeling in the world that can relate to that. It literally felt like I was taking off a skin suit of somebody that wasn't me. And then once I came out and I took that suit off, I stopped taking my depression medication and life just really started to open up for me. I became more social and life, like I said, life just started to open up for me once I came out. As I said earlier, some people will judge. You can't control that. Some people that you thought wouldn't judge you will judge you. Some friends that you don't want to lose, that you really valued your friendship with, will walk out of your life, and it's very sad. It will only affect you as much as you allow it to. And the more time that goes by after that happens, the more that you realize everything happens for a reason, and they had to do that to get you to where you are in your current place in life. I dealt with this a couple times when I was coming out with friends of mine who I really actually loved and appreciated spending time with and shared a bunch of memories with, just chose to walk out of my life, didn't even have any sympathy for like anything that I was dealing with while we were friends. A lot of the people that walked out of my life were females, and I find this to be extremely weird because it's the complete opposite of what I thought was going to happen. And I had a lot of female friends when I was living back in Maryland, and it's just sad that they chose to go their separate way. But you know, I also realized that a lot of them liked me, a lot of them had crushes on me, and I'm not sure, but they probably felt like embarrassed that they liked me. I could go on and on about why they felt the way they did, but like I said, some people will judge you and walk out of your life. Let them go. Let them go. There will be way better people that enter your life later in life. So just give it time, set goals for yourself to achieve, stay motivated for your life, stay driven. Don't just get lazy and become like a lame-o, you know, like have dreams, have a fantasy that you want to manifest into reality, and that will keep you driven, it'll keep you happy, and it'll keep you motivated for life. And other people like that, and they will be drawn to you. So those are my tips with coming out, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Coming out is something that not everybody has to experience, but once you get over that hump, life just opens up for you. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.